Hey everyone, it's Maribel Blue with a new Pathetically Unfiltered. If you are new here, please take a moment and consider subscribing and hit the bell notification. That way you will get notified when I upload a new video. And if you are not new, welcome back. So today's topic, we're going to talk about this alleged private island that Ivanka and her husband Jared Kushner are interested in purchasing. Now, we don't know how true this is. There is an interview going around of Ivanka talking about this island. She was on her friend's boat and they saw this island and they swam over to it, which I find hard to believe, but these are her words, not mine. The I've Had It podcast did cover this, so I'm going to go ahead and share the part of when they're talking about this whole private island bullshit thing. I really don't understand people. I really believe that Ivanka Trump is truly, truly out of touch when you are talking about making a purchase of a private island and everything that you want to do to it. Meanwhile, it's not even yours for the taking. Nobody is selling it to you. And I don't think people are allowed to oh, look at this private island. I'm just going to build a house and make a life there without even knowing if it belongs to somebody else or another country. I don't understand what's going on here. But this is the Trump family that we're talking about. They think everything is theirs for the taking. And that's not the way this world works. You don't get to take it because you think you can.
Position party is, but Ivanka and Jared are the most opportunistic grifters this country has. While he is doing all these deals with Russia, with he has plans to develop Gaza, which are people's homes. These people are evil to their core. Now they are trying to build a massive private island a la Epstein style. So let's listen to Ivanka here. Play the clip.
An incredible project with my husband in the Mediterranean. It's massive in scale.
I think that's an understatement. Can you explain?
Yes, it is.
There's no power on this island. You're building everything from scratch. Correct.
Well, it's an unbelievable, beautiful 1,400 hectare private island in the middle of the Mediterranean.
Okay, and in this clip, she also talks about she was on her friend's boat, which is a huge fucking private yacht, you guys.
It's not a boat.
And she discovered it. And she discovered the island, all right? Like there's undiscovered land on the earth right now that Ivanka, dipshit Jared, and some, circle jerk billionaire on his yacht just happened upon, okay? But these people are so entitled, they think everything is theirs. Here's Ivanka Trump about developing this quote unquote private island.
For me, it feels more like a challenge than anything else. The culmination of all of my experience in real estate, all of my travel, a lot of reflection on how I want to live, how I think people increasingly are wanting to live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When I was a little girl and I became aware of the world around me, I knew when I grew up, I wanted to have a party on a yacht and ship into some unknown territory and make up my own private island. Who thinks that way? Who does? Nobody that I know growing up thought that way. We're from the Bronx, okay? We weren't thinking in the capacity, with private yachts and parties and all of that shit. No, our lives were, can we go outside? We want to hang out with our friends. We want to listen to music and hang out for as long as we could without getting ourselves in trouble and gossip about everybody around us. That's what we did. I don't know where in Ivanka's mind, especially in this day and age, now we're talking about 2026, where people are struggling. And she's talking like this is what people wish for. We all wish to like be on a yacht and have a private party where we could find this private island that nobody knows about and we're going to build it from the ground up. Nobody is thinking that way. And that's just absolutely ridiculous and unrealistic, especially with everything that's happening now. That people are struggling, that people are trying to make ends meet with the gas prices going higher. And please, if you're a MAGA, please don't say this is what you voted for. You knew exactly what you voted for. You voted with hate in your heart, but didn't anticipate in the process that you also would be screwed because you're feeling it as well.
This is such a study. This is almost as bad as I discovered a new word, groceries. It's so out of touch. It's so stunning to me. And I want to make this distinction between Ivanka and her brothers. Everything her brothers have is a crumb from Donald Trump. They start a company, the government funds the company, all of the things they're doing. Ivanka and Jared, they grift off of everybody. They're not limited just contracts from daddy. They go in and they will bilk every single person around them. Here's the thing about Ivanka. We thought we got rid of her after Trump 1.0. She can't go back to New York City because she's so hated, but she just couldn't stay out of the spotlight. And now she's discovered an island a la Dora the Explorer. And she is going to, reading about this island, it's stunning what's going on there. And it terrifies
me. Let's dive into that. Let's dive into what's going on there, because this island is in the Mediterranean and it is part of Albania, and it is a protected natural refuge for species. And of course, if you're Trump, if you're MAGA, if you're a Republican, they see the planet as something they can plunder.
Right.
Meanwhile, lecturing us about creation and all of God's great, beautiful creation. And they plunder all of the beautiful creation. I mean, the hypocrisy that is entrenched in all this.
And let me just stop really quick over here. Knowing that this is an island set up for nature, and they want to just come in and tear it down, which is what's happening all throughout the United States. Any piece of vacant land, these developers just want to come in and take it. The big topic has been data centers. I'm not going to talk about data centers in this video. I'm actually working on a big project right now that has to do with artificial intelligence and data centers. That's a whole other topic. So I just want to continue with this and bring that no regard for nature whatsoever.
Here is her husband, who makes Hunter Biden's crack usage look really quaint and so pedestrian. I mean, Hunter Biden was such a pedestrian criminal compared to Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner is the biggest grifter, preppy. He's almost like one of those psycho billionaire types, that probably has some dungeon somewhere with people locked up. That's just the vibe I get from him. Here he is. Play the clip.
And we spent a couple of days in Albania. One of the nights there, Prime Minister Rama came to the boat. I had not met him when I was in government, but I was very, very impressed with his vision for what he wanted to do with Albania. I really didn't know anything about the country. I didn't understand the history. And the darkness of the history with the communism and the terrible leadership actually led to it being fully undeveloped as a nation. But
okay, so the Albanian president came to the boat. I think that everything that Jared Kushner has gotten is because he married Ivanka Trump. Yeah. His dad was a washed up, disgraced, convicted felon. Everything the Kushners have gotten is a crumb from Donald Trump. He's just a little bit more ambitious about grifting off of every single thing around him. Jared Kushner would be nothing, absolutely nothing. You think if Kamala won and Donald Trump went to prison, they would be developing their private island. Well, the people in Albania are not happy about this at all. Let's play the clip. Protests in Albania right here. They are protesting the takeover of this island by the corrupt Kushners. And you just have to understand, not only are these people, the Trumps, taking money from the American taxpayer. They're also using the leverage of the executive branch and her daddy's position and his daddy-in-law's position to curry favor with corrupt politicians elsewhere. Jared Kushner took $2 billion from the Saudis, the same Saudis that murdered, dismembered, put in a barrel of acid and poured down the drain a journalist named Jamal Khashoggi. These people are not our friends. So every single time you're going to pay for gas, pay for groceries, just know that Ivanka is all about stoicism and being authentic. And
I'm going to leave it at that because as a person who is studying the Stoic concept, Ivanka Trump is nothing of that. There is nothing stoicism about her. And to study that concept and to understand that concept, you have to be humble. You have to accept your flaws and the person that you are. And she's not that person, and neither is her husband. This is my own personal opinion. Somebody could look at it completely differently. They can look at it as things that happened to her in the past. Maybe she's doing it as a defense mechanism. I don't know. The fact of the matter is, when you have a person who is sitting there with endless amounts of money and talking about finding an island like you just made a discovery and you're going to build upon it, not realizing or not even respecting the fact that this island is not yours for the taking, that it belongs to another country. And I looked up the history of Albania because I wanted to know if what Jared Kushner was saying was correct. And this is what I got. I'm going to go ahead and just bring it up on my screen here so I can read it. Not going to go in through the whole thing, but independence and 20th century Albania declared independence in 1912 through European powers divided parts of its territory among neighboring states. And they do have a link here for Encyclopedia Britannica. The country experienced brief monarchical rule, Italian and German occupations during World War II, and emerged as a communist state under Enver Hoxha, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, post-war, with strict control over political, social, and economic life until 1985. The communist regime collapsed in 1990, leading to political transition, economic reforms, and significant immigration. And in modern era, in the 21st century, Albania has pursued political and economic stabilization, joining NATO in 2009 and becoming a candidate for the European Union membership. I will go ahead and link the Encyclopedia Britannica below. But to the point of Jared Kushner, the way he made it sound like Albania was this third world country in need of rescuing, and they're gonna build upon this private island and then run Albania. That's not the way any of this works. It's very draining to know this exterior nonsense continues to happen. And none of this would be happening if we had a different president. I really believe that. And I think a lot of people who sat back and really believed that Kamala Harris was going to start this war, and they either protested, voted, and stayed home with not voting or voting third party, look at where it got you. You have got to be sitting at home feeling some kind of remorse or regret with everything that's going on in the Middle East. I don't understand. I really do not. Nobody thought to themselves of the what if. What if I make this choice? What happened to the what if domino effect? And look at where we are. And sometimes I wonder if we're going to get any better. And if we are, there's going to be a lot of work to be done where everyone who is progressive needs to participate and realize the change is not going to happen overnight, but it's going to take a lot of work to make it happen. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. This is Maribel Blue signing off. As always, remember, be good to yourself, be good to each other, and most importantly, take care of you. Bye, everybody.